on the hobo, and Lunchtime ending up skipping that and searching all of Ganon's tower for it.
That's a weird spot for go mode. Phant's files saying for Sigma, and Lunchtime, I believe, beat Sigma in the Swiss stage, so that's the lore behind that if you were curious.
Alright, we're already off, and we find ourselves 3 bombs in the starting chest, so no need to search for those.
No, hopefully we don't get 10 more at Uncle, because that would just be really bittersweet. We'd like to get nothing at all.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate side about getting 10 bombs when you get 3 bombs out of that first chest. It's just very unfortunate, I'd say.
Yeah. So what weapon do you want to see before we actually see it?
Burna. Let's just use all of our tools early.
Well, I can give you a B. How about a bow?
It's the same letter, I guess. I guess I can jump on board. It's probably one of the easier starts.
It is, and it's one of the more interesting ones too, because if Eastern Palace is a crystal, it really pushes you to do that early, just because you can't complete it. There's not like a ton of ways to make Eastern Palace better, and there's 6 items over there, so we'll see.
Right, that's very true. So long as you know the Dark Room, it's a very easy dungeon to do. If you have that bow, it's an easy clear.
Indeedy. No map checks, unfortunately. I've been getting used to the very early map checks coming out of the Uncle Cave, but not today.
Yeah. Early map check is a good map check, especially if one of them does it and the other does it later. Just in case you miss it, you get another chance.
Alright, this room's gonna be pretty easy with the bow.
Quite the red rupee horde here in the castle so far.
The treasury slash dungeon, I guess. Very poor kingdom, Hyrule.
Collecting all the red shiny rupees and nothing else.
Yeah, we've actually got a decent amount of money thus far, 60 and 40 respectively. That's not bad.
Oh, and there's another 20 drop on Lunchtime side, so having 20s in the drop pool is kind of nice. It makes for early farming a lot easier.
Yeah, you don't have to really worry about having to get rupees from chests. You can just, if you kill enemies along the way, you're naturally going to pick those up, so that's really good.
And bow is one of my favorite starting items, just due to this ball and chain guard here. 4 arrows will do the trick, and you don't have to waste your time with a pot. It's just quick succession.
Oh, Lunchtime taking down his boss. Ball and chain guard.
We get another 20 rupees out of that chest. So that's 3 so far.
Oh, good lord. Getting all these out of the way, Kakariko's gonna be stacked, huh?
Yeah, if escape isn't stacked, Kakariko will be. And if that's not stacked, good luck. Alright, Lunchtime ended up getting a nice 8 bomb drop in there as well. So not having to buy bombs at all early on, I'd say.
Yeah, that's really useful. 3 bombs is alright, but we're going to be using those in the back half of Escape, and we do need more than 2 for Kakariko, so Lunchtime gets a little bit of an advantage there. We'll see if Phant also gets an 8 bomb drop at some point or not. It's hard to say.
Right, it's in the green guard pool, so at this point, he won't get it, I'd say. Unless he somehow kills one outside. But yeah, most people would avoid them.
Yeah, there's a few along the way, like to the tree pool and all that stuff, but usually you don't kill them, you just try and get out of their way, let them do the job.
Let them run around.
I just patrol this 2 feet by 2 feet square for the rest of the time.
2 feet by 2 feet square, and then chase you, but you're faster.
Yeah, and then if that doesn't work, you just take your breaks in like the ankle-high grass and get mad when somebody runs over you.
Just taking a nap and someone just slashes their sword and just barely grazes your nose.
I can't imagine what else they're doing. Like, they're not just waiting there, right?
That's true. I would assume they're just taking a nap. 100%.
Hiding from their supervisor or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, let's see who can kill that rat first try. Ooh. The turnaround. Lunchtime takes 2 arrows, Phant takes 1. Phant gets in the door first.
They're actually completely even on arrows. That's kind of funny.
Phant's got 4 more rupees, but Lunchtime's got a whole heck of a lot more bombs. And speaking of bombs, we have ourselves a bombos.
Explodey coin and 2 heart containers. That's pretty good for the back half of Escape. I mean, I've seen better ones, but that's not nothing to sneeze at.
Right, it's always nice to find those medallions early, especially if Mire or Turtle Rock are required. It just helps out, so you don't have to search for them later.
Yeah, and Bombos is by far the most useful one as far as unlocking stuff goes, because that could be our access to Ice Toss, and there's half magic to use it. Too bad we don't have a sword.
Very interesting. It would make for a very funny play if you had a sword. You could just Bombos Mini Moldorm or something.
I've seen that. I saw that yesterday, in fact. Both runners had a sword and Bombos by the time they got to Mini Moldorm game, and that's what they used. Even if they had Bookshot. I mean, you don't get that many opportunities, I guess.
Yeah, very true. Use Bombos for once instead of just opening a dungeon.
We do see a small route divergence. Phant's coming up here to check this tree pull, and probably check the Lemjack cave as well. Lunchtime skipping that.
I've seen more and more runners opt to skip it, just due to if you need to check it later, it's nice to route in with other things. And of course, you can't even get the item without boots anyways.
Yeah, I think that's one of those classical debates where nobody's really wrong about it. Like, checking it can pay off early, skipping it can just pay off in general, so it's just, I think it's more of like a playstyle preference at this point.
Right, of course. And it was just an arrow upgrade from what I saw, so it's not too important this time around. But finding a fire rod in the forest is nice to see.
That is a spicy mushroom right there.
That is very, very hot indeed.
Getting all the fire items right away. I like it.
Just need ourselves a lamp, and we'll be good to go.
Maybe Blind's stolen one today.
A blind guy that likes to play with fire.
He doesn't want anybody else to see.
He needs the light to guide him through the dark rooms. But he's blind.
Holy moly.
But we do find ether, so that's a second one of our medallions.
We find $600 down here, so he's doing well for himself, or he was, anyway. It's pretty much all the money you need for the early game. 100 for Bottle Bender. Ooh. 1, 2, 3.
Very nice. I mean, early rupees, can't complain.
Yes, all of our curses in the light world in sequence. This is... ooh.
There's our sword.
So now we can use that Bombos. Eastern Palace being a crystal, it's really going to depend on what they get in Kakariko here, but it would be my instinct with the sword now to just go there and get everything I can out of Eastern, just in case like the Flippers or the Moon Pearl shows up there. You can sort of route your Sasha a little bit better, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, having the sword go through the dark room makes it a lot easier as well, just having the sparklies from the tip of the sword. Of course, there's a lot of items elsewhere too, depending on whether or not you want to go to Eastern first or not for 6 items, or head to the South Shore for quite a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, if you find silvers outside of Eastern, that speeds up the Armus boss fight a little bit, but... What do we got in library today?
I'm waiting for the day that it's a book.
Waiting for the day it's vanilla, I say.
I don't think I've ever seen a book in the library.
Neither have I, actually. It's weird. I've seen some even worse vanilla items, but never the book. Alright, so lunchtime is going to be heading to the South Shore. They did check the map, so this is a conscious decision, of course. It's fine, I mean, it doesn't really matter what order you really do them in. Any optimization you get's going to be like a small one anyway, so...
Yeah, of course. I think the only thing you'd necessarily find would be possibly that lamp to go through the dungeon. But that could also be in that front half, so you never know.
Getting all the big 20s right out of the way at the beginning.
Yeah, quite a few they've picked up thus far. There's another one on the race game too, so that one's gonna sit there forever.
Yeah, we're gonna be in dire straits if we have to go back for that, I think.
I think it would be faster to check one of the random caves that has money. And I don't think Lunchtime's too concerned on money, skipping that 100.
Man, I picked that up.
Could be useful for potions.
Yeah, we might spend 500 on Zora, and we need more money, basically, if we're gonna do everything that needs money, so I just grabbed that, but
Of course,
Phant is heading over here to the eastern area.
Bomb strats. Switching to the bow. I'd just pull out bomb bows, just destroy them.
Yeah, I
Make
agree
them
with
burn. Yeah, I need 110 for Kiki, 80 for digging game. Boots. And Master Sword for both runners. And Mirror. Oh my. That's insane.
That
So
was
Master
like
Sword on both runners from different locations.
that was just a torrent of really good items. It's crazy. Found
Right.
boots, mirror, flute, and 2 swords in different locations.
Right. So definitely can't complain about either location. Runners have checked, so Mirror on Lunchtime side is a very nice pickup. Getting boots as well to just run around really fast, making this Ice Rod Cave a really good check.
Yeah, we can even set up the water walk here, so... Let's see if Lunchtime opts to do that. Magic Powder, hello!
Powder.
Yes, we are gonna get to see that water walk. I like it. So we saw hookshot on Lake Hylia.
That's very close to this hobo, which is where it was last time, and Lunchtime ended up skipping it.
Yeah, and Lunchtime has the mirror and the boots. Even if we don't get flippers, we could... Oh my gosh. There's another sword in Eastern Palace.
Wait, so we know where Butter is already?
We know where all 4
What?
swords are.
That is absolutely incredible.
Question chat. So how does the water walk work? Well, you need boots. You dash near a pit. It's really easy to set up in the Ice Rod Cave because you can just Green Pendant and Turtle Rock. You can just set up the dash on the edge of the pit and then run out, and you'll have it. And the other way you set that up is if you dash near a pit and you bonk off of something, like near the where you usually do the whole hand room, it'll set that up, and then you just jump down from a south. Like you have to jump off a cliff to where you're facing south, and then you'll be in the water rock state. There's a really good tutorial on it by Super Scudge that I recommend anyone who's interested look up. He goes in much more detail than I can.
Yeah, Water Rock is definitely an interesting glitch to pull off. I myself haven't seen too much of it, so it just looks really, really nice to see.
Yeah, it's useful. It has a sequence break use just beyond like normal fake flippers. Like in the Dark World, you can get the like highly item without the flippers, which might actually come into play here. It's funny to think.
That would be very interesting to sequence break that hook shot.
Well, they will certainly have the opportunity.
Overall, Eastern being a very fast dungeon that is completable. Phant now gonna have a crystal in their name.
Yeah, I got here a little bit earlier than lunchtime, but lunchtime now with Butter Sword.
Right.
It does have those boots to make up some of the time, quote-unquote, they lost. I think Phant might actually have lost time just because they didn't have the boots earlier. But it's not that big a deal either way.
Yeah, and now with having Flute, I think your next option is just go activate that really quick.
Yeah, there's like a small scenario where there's like boots at the well, we know where boots are. If you would have gotten boots first, maybe that would have been a little bit quicker. You check bonk rocks on your way to activate Flute, but I don't know. This is fine. Activating Flute, getting that online is always good as early as possible.
Right. I mean, it may take a little while to get to it, but overall, being able to use it is helpful.
And go straight to the dam too. It's like, wow.
Fire Rod actually making the back of Eastern so much easier if you know where that those torches are actually there. Lights up the room. You don't have to work your way in the dark.
Yeah, it's not unmanageable with the sword and bow, but the fire makes it so much easier. And there's a few dark rooms in Pod that also are really quite hard, but made a lot easier with the fire rod, so definitely memorize those.
I mean, with Tempered Sword and Butter Sword, I'm pretty sure if you just walk up and slash, you'd do the room no problem. Phant finding more rupees inside the dam here. And of course, we'll end up just seeing 100 in the water. We'll see if they pick it up or not. And a crystal on lunchtime side.
Alright. Pretty much evened up on crystals. I guess lunchtime we'll be able to check the bonk rocks. Without leaving that money, really? Come on. It's $100. Oh well.
Alright, and now Phant gonna be finding a giant horde of items here.
Probably gonna be a little bit annoyed. Like the one time I go to Eastern early, there's boots here, of course.
Yeah. Boots, Butter Sword, Mirror. Like, that's an insane combo of items. And there's our lamp.
Alright, well that's... I don't think the lamp's gonna play too much role when it's looking like Aga isn't gonna be required and we have Fire Rod, but who knows? I mean, it's never not nice to have.
Right, I mean, you can access a decent amount of things on the mountain. Of course, not too much at this point in time, needing either the hammer or the hookshot to access more, but it is in play.
Yeah, I think that's the next stop. We got the mirror, we can go to Harris or Priory, we can complete it. Let's do it. You and me.
Definitely. I mean, when you have the option to finish a crystal dungeon, might as well get it out of the way. I mean, when you're running around with Butter Sword, nothing else is going to speed up the dungeon, so...
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing. Butter Sword, it's the best.
And Phant using the flute to good use here. Gonna check off a couple locations, going to Aegina's Cave.
Okay, yeah, I like this. If there's hookshot or hammer here, it really helps your routing on Death Mountain, and this is one of those locations that gets neglected by a lot of runners for a long time, so either way.
Lunchtime, heading up the mountain. Gonna rescue the old man here, and Phant only finding 50 rupees inside of a Genius Cave.
Yeah, I mean, we knew where the hook shot was, but if that was Hammer, that would have been really nice.
Yeah, very true. This point in time, I think it's getting closer and closer to that Aghanim play. But with a few more locations to check, you might as well get them out of the way.
Oh man. Are we going to get Vanilla Moon Pearl, or is Moon Pearl going to be on the Pyramid Ledge? It's really concerning me.
No, just a green rupee. A few more locations left. Inside Spectacle Rock, on top, as well as Hera. Other than that, I don't see anything left.
Yeah. I mean, Zora's Knight, oh, there's Shovel. Okay.
Anybody like fetch quests? And another 20 rupees.
Yeah, we are running out of locations. I mean, Zora is not technically in Logic, but I mean, we could do that if we wanted to.
Alright, shovel location has opened up, and lunchtime now inside Hera. And luckily, with having fire sources, won't be locked out of the dungeon.
Yeah, we got all the fire sources today. And we're going to use them right now, around like 45 seconds.
We'll see if they decide to do a coffee break or not.
At lunchtime, ooh, is going to take that coffee break. I guess it's more like a lunch break. It's almost noon in Eastern time.
That's
so
very true.
They got to power up.
You have that quick snack before heading back to Rando. And Phant following in behind very shortly here. The only thing that has, I'd say, is a difference between the two is that Phant's already done the desert check. That's really it. So overall, not finding anything there. There's no difference.
Yeah, and if that is looking required, you better believe that lunchtime is going to be heading down there to check it as well. So.
Right, exactly. So it won't be. I say if it's required, they're going to be entering that at the same time.
Yeah. You've heard the phrase borrow time, but that's like literally in this case. Oh.
Uh-oh. Now this is the scary part. When you rock one heart and you mess up the coffee break, it's double time now.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Alright.
It's definitely a clench moment. You're very tense being locked in there with no health. But does make it through alright.
Oh man, just gotta watch out these mini Moldorms now. Alright. Skeletons, who cares? These guys do so little damage. Saw a bloomerang on lunchtime side.
I did as well. That's the only item I saw, so maybe if it was something else, it wasn't significant, or it's on Moldorm here.
We'll know very shortly. Oh, maybe not.
Moldorm literally just not wanting anything to do with a guard.
Moldorm doesn't want anything to do with anybody. He's just very... He's content to spin in place up here at the top of this tower.
That's very true. What makes Moldorm not fall off?
Magnets, I guess. Yeah.
Right, so the other item was a heart container.
Alright, well... We're in an awkward spot now.
Yeah, at this point in time, your play is fake flipper to Zora, do the shovel, or Aghanim.
Yeah, lunchtime hasn't gone to desert. I assume that's where they'll be going soon.
Right. With having only 2 locations left on lunchtime's side that are in logic, both yielding pretty much no items, unless this is the hammer, then Aghanim's guaranteed.
Ooh.
Ooh. It's not the hammer, but it is a moon pearl.
Yeah, that does...
That almost makes like a fake flipper look more tempting.
Yeah, that opens up the Waterfall of Wishing, which is 2 items, and I think if you're faced with Aghanim and you have the potential to sequence break, I feel like generally you probably want to. Just on the off chance that your next progression was the flippers, and it leads to an item there. But...
yeah, very true. I mean, if you somehow can sequence break it so that you don't have to do Aga, I'd say it's worth it. But Phant going off, heading straight for Aghanim, knowing that the locations won't have enough items to get them here.
I wonder if Phant would decide differently if he knew what the Moon Pearl was at the shovel.
Yeah, you never know at that point in time, but lunchtime now following in suit and heading up there.
Oh, man.
Of course, Phant is going to have to save and quit as soon as reaching the Dark World. We'll be able to get that pyramid item, but that's about it. So, with having that Moon Pearl on that shovel location, this is literally just for Dark World access.
Yes, indeed. That's all Aga's going to be required for. Well, maybe the hammers and Pyramid Fairy, and that's going to be also double Aga required, but we won't know that for a while.
Right. It's never nice to see the hammer on Pyramid Fairy, but I mean, if it's already Aga required, it's not as bad.
Yeah. Having to do Aga just for that is the worst, but if it's in this scenario, then it's whatever.
Yeah, if it's that other scenario, it's pretty much, that's the last thing you're checking in the entire game for that hammer.
Well, thankfully...
Both.
I'll go ahead.
I was just gonna say, both runners making quick work here. Having that butter sword in hand just speeds things up a lot.
Yeah, Butter Sword and Boots really just speed the stunts up, because normally these red guards are pretty tough, but they die in one hit to the Butter Sword, so they're not tough. You even have the boomerang for the MG strats, nice.
Yeah, it definitely makes quick work. Lunchtime going above and beyond using Fire Rod. And on to Aghanim. So whatever the pattern here is for blue balls and normal hits, it will be the exact same for both runners. Any guesses in chat on what it's going to be? For the amount of blue balls, that is?
I'm going to go with 3 myself. How about you?
I enjoy the number 3. Of course, it can be a lot crueler, but...
Yes, it can be very cruel. Even when it's not particularly cruel, it feels really bad because it takes forever.
1. Still only at 1.
The first one after the lightning phase is guaranteed to be a regular ball, but everyone else is just, who knows?
2. Three.
Yep.
There it is. We did it.
We did it, we guessed.
It's like we knew all along.
I know how Agnes thinks.
I'm gonna throw 3 blue balls today. And just the bomb upgrade on the pyramid. Phant is now lost.
Huh. Phant, you got the shovel, man. He is confused. That's bad. He needs to realize
he
now.
doesn't see the shovel in his inventory because of the flute now, so must forget that they picked it up.
Uh-oh. Please mouse over your flute.
We're going on a bunny adventure. Let's go.
And we can't actually do anything, so I'm not sure what he's...
Oh, the map check. Red crystals on Pod and Skullwoods. Green pendant, of course, on TR. And red and blue pendants on Mire and Swamp.
Okay, so no hammer at Pyramid Fair today.
Phant now doing a map check here in the light world. Gonna attempt to find what they forgot.
Man, Phant needs to figure this out like ASAP. He had his flute out. Oh,
Potential fake flipper.
No. Maybe he is just double checking he talked to an NPC.
Oh, it's never nice to see doing double checks. That'll run through your mind the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't remember. But I mean, these things do happen in tournament races. Your mind's a million places, and it can be easy to forget things, especially when they don't show up on your item menu. Please press. No, oh my gosh.
Oh. Yeah, here's a fake flipper. Zora's in play with that. Of course, it's not logic, but it is there. Gonna find that hook shot on the island, and Lunchtime. I like the play that Lunchtime is making, actually, going through the pod, having 5 items here.
Yeah, we don't have the hammer, but we have the mirror, we have the bow, so it's easy to route through, and we might end up checking this anyway. And pod isn't really like the worst dungeon in the world to have to come back to if you really have to. Like, the walk's the worst part, I think, because the boss is like right there. But
yeah, very true. Alright, so I'm not seeing anything of significant coming out of Pod so far, but that can change.
that Sniper Octorok, man. Well, if Phant figures out really quick that they have the shovel and Pod's a wash, then they might be able to make some time left later by just not having to double dip it.
Yeah,
assuming hammer isn't in there.
Yeah, of course we have this back section to check first, but other than that, you never know. Is Phant doing a double check on Lumberjack?
I think so. I think he may think that he saw it wrong, and that I guess that can be something you worry about since you're usually in there and out pretty quickly.
Yeah, don't blame them.
It's just gonna be those 10 arrows, though.
Oh, there's the power glove inside of Pod.
Yeah, and that opens up Catfish. So that's going to be a bit worrying if something's there.
That also puts Zora in play.
Yeah, it does. Oh my god.
My. Not only the power glove, but the Titan's mitt to go with it.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so definitely 100% required go here. That opens up a lot as well, now having access to the Village of Outcasts, so...
Yeah, it was going to be either that or Hammer, I guess, since we know where the hookshot is.
Alright, here we go. I think he's checking it now.
Oh gosh, please check it.
There we go.
Okay. Alright.
Lunchtime, gonna head off into the Village of Outcasts. Phant now gonna probably do that pod play that Lunchtime has already done.
Yeah, he doesn't really have anywhere else he can go. Yeah, so even though Phant wasted a bit of time there figuring out what they needed to do, finding the mitts this early can definitely lead to some big variations in time depending on what the runners decide to do in what order.
Right. Of course, now with having the mitts, you have access to the mire area as well. So there's a few items over there, you'd get the information on the dungeon, etc. Of course, with it only being a pendant, it's not necessarily required.
Yeah, it does open up desert though, which might also be very tempting since that is required. We have everything we could possibly want for that as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Lunchtime heads that way before too long.
Yeah, you never know what you want to route in until you get certain items. It's always nice to route in Desert and Mire together. At the same time, when it's a pendant, you never know, so getting Desert out of the way sounds like a good play to me. But when you have access to so many other dungeons right here, right now, that you can finish, I'd say it's worth it to do these.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we're actually missing for go mode on Lunchtime, depending, is the hammer. Because we can fake flip into Ice Palace. Well, we need the hookshot too, but we can get that with the water walk glitch. So, unless I'm mistaken,
Ice Rod as well.
Turtle Rock's a pendant.
Oh, that's right. I was looking at the dungeons wrong. So yeah, hammer and hookshot.
Yeah, whether Lunchtime is aware of how to do that glitch or not, I'm not sure. If they're even thinking about being in go mode at this particular point in time, it's hard to say. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't think that would necessarily cross your mind too early on. But when you start knocking out dungeons, it'll cross your mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's certainly a very rare scenario where this sort of thing comes up, so...
And now I know you can only burn from the front.
You gotta be facing the right direction. Fire is useless unless you're facing the right direction. It's something everybody knows. Just going ham with that fire rod.
I mean, when you got half magic, you might as well. You got Butter Sword for the boss too, so I don't think you're in any danger here. Not even picking up the magic in the skull there, so looking like the sword is the optimal play here.
Yeah, Butter Sword Mafia is pretty easy. It does the same damage as Timbered Sword and Rando, I believe, because it doesn't actually do damage to Mafia in the vanilla game, but yeah. Easy peasy.
And Phant now gonna head off to the back side of Pod, gonna find both gloves.
Yeah, they're not far away from each other, too. Okay, so lunchtime, saving and quitting there. I wonder if that's just them saying, well, the hookshot, I can get that anytime. I don't want to grab that now and let it lead me astray, or if they just don't know how to set up that glitch. Because again, that's a very rare use case.
Yeah, very true. Alright, so with searching for hammer for go mode, I mean, of course you need flippers and hookshot too, but we know where hookshot is at least. I would say now that pedestal is dead, because there's nothing there that would be useful for your quest.
Yeah, ped's pretty much just, it can be like a mail upgrade, but that's, we're not going to do those dungeons for that.
Very true. Now having access to the Village of Outcasts, another dungeon you can complete and finish. Of course, no hammer, so might have to come back for an item, but you never know.
Maybe the worst thing that could be in the big chest would be the Cane of Samaria required for right side Ganon's tower, because it can't be the hammer. You need the hammer to get that, but I guess it would be the flippers too if Lunchtime doesn't know the water walk glitch in the Dark World. Speaking of mail upgrades.
I mean, you can't complain about a mail upgrade in the Dark World. Rocking 7 hearts, I think? Yeah, 7. So, quite a low amount. Can't complain about getting a little bit of defense.
He got promoted, he's gonna get higher pay now too, that's awesome.
A blue guard now. Means he can take a couple more hits.
Yeah, that's very true, isn't it? I mean, it works the same way for guards that it does for Link.
Alright, Phant now heading up into Skull Woods here. Having all the items to finish it, might as well get it out of the way.
We got half magic. Like, the hearts are like the one concern, but with half magic and butter sword, you can't expect too many problems. The fight will probably end before you're in a really bad spot, so... yeah.
Right. I think with butter sword, depending on the bosses, I would say, or how well you know the bosses, I think blind is probably would be the hardest one with your low amount of health. But of course, it's a 100% scripted fight, so it could be very easy for a lot of people.
Yeah, blind and mothula are the two bosses I think that are, unless you really know the strat for blind, can be the most dangerous, just because they're pretty unpredictable and there's a lot going on in the fight. Vitreous can also be really hard just because he's very, very tanky, and he attacks you and does a lot of damage.
Now we'll see if anything decides to show itself here inside of Thieves' Town. With having a lot of locations opened up at the moment, I almost expect there to be nothing here, so that you have to go and check those other spots.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either.
I mean, if you were to just pull out the flippers and hammer, you can now go mode every other dungeon. Which is also a plus.
Yeah, that's all we're really missing is the flippers and the hammer. You know what that hookshot is, and that's contingent on us either knowing the water walk glitch or having the flippers. So...
now that leads me to a question that maybe chat can help out with. What is the lowest amount of hearts you've ever seen in a rando for fighting Ganon?
Well, for me, it's hard. I don't think I've really seen really low hearts in rando, at least. Hello, Quake. There was a Wizrobe seed from Wizathon that had 3 hearts again, but I don't think that really counts. I don't think that counts.
Yeah, I would say it would have to be in a seed where you're able to get all 20. But I don't think I've seen anything less than 10 even.
Wow, Phant making that fight really close.
Right, having green mail still, having no safeties, definitely risky, but does make it through alright.
And that blind pun, I think that's a new one. Sausage is the worst with the U. I haven't seen that.
That is definitely one I've not seen before myself.
Uh-oh. Oh my gosh.
Very, very close. And of course, I did not count the items, so I'm not sure if we're missing one.
I believe it was a mail upgrade, Quake, and 2 big 20s, so I don't think there's anything in the big chest.
They're missing the small key for it anyway, so it's just a small key in that big chest.
Well, Phant actually went over there and opened it and then realized they didn't have the hammer, so that's why they don't have the small key.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Understandable. And another big 20 there, inside the C-shaped house, and a heart piece on top of Bumper Ledge.
I wasn't paying attention when Phant left Skullwood, so I'm not sure if they set up the water walk glitch or not, but this would be the area you want to use it, if you did.
Yeah, lunchtime now, going for that digging game. A solid 80 rupees to play, and it can be anything between 1 and 30 digs. And looks like just a blue rupee.
Oh, that doesn't pay for itself, that's what a scam.
Phant also finding a blue rupee in the back of the graveyard there.
Yeah, that one's more even, I guess, because 5 is basically worth 1 bomb. You kind of get a profit as well, because there's bombs in the cave. So, yeah, that's a big 20.
Another big 20. Seems to be a lot of those.
We've seen a lot of them, that's for sure. Whenever you think you got them all, there's always one more.
Alright, as lunchtime approaches the one and only Hype Cave, place your bets in chat between 1 and 10. Is it going to be Hype or not? Do you have any guesses yourself there, Mally?
I'm gonna say it's not gonna be Hype today, just because we have all 3 medallions, and I'm gonna say our stuff's in desert. So, what about you?
I almost want to say there's stuff here because I want to see them enter go mode like super early, but at the same time, there's so many other locations. So I'm gonna go with like a 4.
All right.
Oh wow.
Alright, well, Flippers is hookshot.
Flippers.
I mean, that's valuable information.
So that's our Death Mountain access fully. So I would almost say that is a nice play to make over desert with having so many things. But you won't get a crystal by going up there.
Yeah. I mean, all we're really looking for is the hammer, right? So...
Right.
Yeah, I guess so, because hookshot's the item we just got.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it doesn't stop you from finishing desert or anything like that, so that could be a nice play to make and search for hammer later. Pretty much be looking for what you need, where you're looking, like where you're needing to be.
Yeah, I think lunchtime's coming up here because, well, there's a lot of items there for one thing. So it's a very high-density chest spot, but we also just got the hookshot. And if you believe in item chains, this would be the place to go, because it could hint that the hammer was locked behind the hookshot. Yeah, just to recap, Aga was required, and we found both of our gloves in pod, so no chance of Hammer being in pod, I'm afraid.
Very true. So we'll see what Paradox Cave here has for us.
Only one thing we really care about right now, I think.
Money and hearts, right?
Sure. That's all we're gonna get.
3 heart pieces, some bombs, and $50. Of course, having Hookshot, able to do Dark Death Mountain as well. Might as well get it out of the way since you're here. How fast do you stop searching for everything else the second you get that hammer?
Well, at that point, well, I guess Kingdom Samaria is worrying. That actually scares me a little bit. If Big Key is on the right
very
side.
True. And we're at 11 hearts all of a sudden.
Well, that escalated quickly. Well, we can at least be certain that neither of the items that we want, potentially, are in Turtle Rock, because we need both those items to get into Turtle Rock.
Very true.
Which also takes Sarashla out, so that's pretty nice.
You at least know there's one dungeon you don't have to do.
You don't even have to think about it.
And there's Quake on Phant's side. Another 20 rupees on Lunchtime side.
They both went over there without the hammer. It's just so funny to me.
Overall, nothing too much here on Death Mountain.
Yeah, nothing. I think we have Spiral Cave, and that's about it.
I mean, it's only one item we need. Potentially. So now I'm definitely jumping on board with your desert play.
Yeah,
Seems to be the next logical place to head off to.
Yeah, the item density over there isn't bad. It's going to be required to complete Desert at least, so... And then you're going to be in a situation where you either check Catfish... Well, I guess we haven't seen Zora Area either, have we?
Yeah, exactly. So Zora Era is open, Ice Palace is fully in play, Desert is fully completable, you have the Mire area checks. There's just so many locations to go, and it all depends on what you decide to gamble first.
Yeah, Ice Palace I think is going to be like the last thing that Lunchtime wants to do, just because if there's no hammer in there, you waste a lot of time, and double dipping that dungeon is awful.
Yeah, very true. Oh, an Ice Rod.
No, we don't need that.
Side Mire. One of the things we don't need to see.
I don't think Lunchtime did the blacksmith chain either, did they?
No, they did not. Looks like Phant is gonna go off and do the digging game here.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll go back for the blacksmith and just run the purple chest down. It's slower with the boots, just because you can dash without it, but...
Yeah, but it at least gets another check done at the same time, so...
Yeah. Wait, Magic Bat's in play too.
Yes, very true. Of course, at this point, it would be losing your portal, but... it could be worth it for a check. Looks like Phant is also going to not do the blacksmith chain and head off for all the checks down here instead.
This hammer can be in some really annoying spots. It's quite funny.
Right. Well, it has a handle at least, but it's just a bug net. I don't think that would work too well.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be hammering any pegs like that. It's got a big hole in it. I don't know. Maybe if you put like some flex tape on it, but we don't have access to that in Hyrule. There's a shield.
Well, that's our 2 items. So they have access to Mire itself that has 2 items. Do you gamble and check that, or do you head off to do your overworld locations first?
I think I would much rather prefer doing overworld before that, because Mire takes just about as long as some of these more dense overworld checks, and if it's on Vitreous, that's like the worst. So...
Right. Yeah, you can't access Vitreous themselves yet, so...
Yeah, lunchtime, probably not happy about that. Was hoping, I'm sure, that Hammer would be in a really easy to find spot, and then this could
right.
potentially run away with the seed, but...
Yeah, Phant now gonna pick up that hookshot themselves, and we'll see what play they decide to make.
Yeah, I don't think they'll skip Death of the Mountain. They could, and they'd be perfectly fine, but ooh.
Ooh, Zora area. Or Ice? Nope, Zora.
Okay. I like Zora before Ice, just because we can always flute down to 8 if we're gonna be crazy, so...
Very true. Just some heart pieces out of the waterfall cave. And if you blinked, you missed it. The line molas are gone. The worm infestation in the desert has been handled. Another big 20 on the ledge at Zora. There's so many of those.
So many. What are the chances that Zora's gonna have one himself?
Depending on how many we've seen so far, there is a high probability that he could have a 20. Almost. Almost.
Almost. I'm a little surprised Lunchtime just came here. Instead of going to the Dark World and routing the same with the catfish check. It's a little slower, but I don't know. Like Phant made sense to me because they just got the hook shot, they were right there, so they didn't really have the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely route in catfish with this, because now you're gonna have to route up here anyways. Overall, I don't think it's that much of a time difference, but at the same time, it's nice to just route things in together.
Yeah, it's a little less efficient, but if he might not actually come to catfish, he might just say, okay, I'm going to Ice Palace, it's going to be there, and hope for the best. He's got choices, but...
Right. So now, looking at what is available, Ice Palace is completable. Of course, it depends if it's hammer-locked or not.
Well...
Oh, I guess it is hammer-locked because the very end, yeah. Right, so... You gamble on whether or not it's going to be there, or maybe the first chest of Swamp, or things like that.
Oh my gosh.
Your choices are very limited.
There's nothing that's going to feel good. Lunchtime's going to check the blacksmith chain, I think, and Magic Bat, probably, if they remember that, which is the safest play, I would say. But if it's not here, I don't know. What would you even do? It's just like luck at that point.
Yeah, that's where gambling comes into play. Depending on whether or not Phant decides to do the same thing or switch it up, it could make a big time difference. Oh, but having a bottle now can check the sick kid.
Still a little...
Well, I hope the sick kid can recover without a heart.
Hopefully. It's funny too, because the hash of this seed had 2 hammers in it, and we're just really looking for the hammer.
We're looking for 2 hammers indeed.
The funny little ironies.
Alright, yeah, definitely blacksmith chain here. We'll see if Lunchtime decides to destroy their portal into the Mad Bat.
Yeah.
I would actually Yeah, I would 100% say they would destroy their portal, because then they can flute with the purple chest anyway, so they don't need the Dark World anymore.
Yeah, we already checked the cave down there, and we don't have the book, so Bombus Tablet's not really in question. So, yeah.
Alright, the gambling on where that hammer can be. The lunchbox, the Mad Bat, potentially Ice, Swamp.
Oh gosh, I don't like any of those. I guess it could be in Mire too, but...
Yeah, that's very true. At least there's one place that it can't be. Turtle Rock.
Yeah, there's that. Okay, guess that's another location it could be.
Okay, it's not bad. Of course you can flute up there. Yeah, and being able to flute with the purple chest is a very nice way to go about it too.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have the opportunity, but when you do, it speeds it up quite a lot, so...
Just another heart piece. This hammer is evading us at all costs.
Well, might as well turn the mushroom. Set to be free, buy a potion. It's lunchtime, gonna do that.
Another heart piece.
Yeah, it's gonna stock up later here. Might as well.
This hammer is 100% coming down to a couple dungeon checks.
Yeah, if it's catfish, lunchtime's gonna probably feel a little bad because they did not
That's
wrap that in with the sword area.
So where do you go first? Do you go to Pendant Mire, Pendant Swamp, or Ice Palace?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I know I wouldn't want to spend my Sunday afternoon thinking, oh, do I want to go to Ice Palace without the hammer? Do I want to go to Mire or Swamp Crystal without the hammer? I don't know. I guess... dang it, I don't know. I have no idea.
You risk having to double dip in ice if you go there first. So that would be what would stop me from going there. But at the same time, Swamp you can only get one item. And Mire you can get one or two.
Yeah.
So at this, it's just hard to really decide on a gamble.
Yeah, I guess if you just want to go straight numbers, either Mystery Mire or Ice Palace, because there's potentially 2 spots it could be, maybe even 3 in Ice Palace. Swamp has the 1 check, but the first chest in Swamp doesn't take a super long time to check at the same time. So I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is a hard gamble to decide on when you don't know what your opponent's going to do either.
Yeah, so lunchtime is going to be checking catfish, it looks like. Or are they? Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, it's not bad to route it in with this stuff, but could have done it differently before and route it in with things that are already in that location, but that's fine.
Yeah, doing the graveyard check and then the catfish is also a pretty good route, I would say, so...
Phant doing a few more locations here in the overworld before finishing off Desert.
Alright, Mr. Catfish, what do you got? I know you can't have a big 20, you've gotten so many of those already.
I think there's a couple more in play.
No, there's none forever. Okay.
That was very close to a big 20, I'd say.
You had a big 20.
Almost diamond shaped.
You heard what I was saying, it's like, oh crap, I better bend this real quick.
Just take the rupee, put it in a vice, and just kind of bend it as much as you can without breaking it.
There you go, it's not a rupee. I promise. Okay, well, at lunchtime is going nice.
Alright, definitely a risky play, but if it pays off, it pays off in numbers, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, none of them are really, like, safe or good plays, so might as well go with the play, I guess, that benefits you the most if it's correct.
Yeah, if this happens to be... Like, this is a dungeon you need to do, so I 100% agree with trying to do it. If you were to dive a pendant before even attempting this and not pay off, you'd be kicking yourself.
Yeah, definitely. It's just such a hard decision to make, so... Well, there's one item.
2 items left to obtain. Now, I have a specific chest in mind that I think the hammer is going to show up in.
Which one's that?
If it is to be in here. The room right before it's required.
Okay.
With the spikes, with the skull on the right-hand side to activate the button.
That would be a good one.
It just seems to show up there more so than anything.
Yeah, it's the weird thing about the Size Palace play as well. Like, none of them are good, of course, but like here, there are actually three locations that items can be that are locked by the hammer. The 2 on the right that you mentioned in Cold Stare, but it can absolutely 100% be here. Phant is going into Mystery Mire, meanwhile, so...
That's the play to make, I say. It's a very rough gamble if it so happens to be the wrong choice. But do you gamble ice and not be able to finish it and have to dip out and go somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it just comes down to luck, to be quite honest. Swamp, I think, is probably the worst of these two, so either Misery Mire or Ice Palace is probably where you should start, just because with Swamp, you're only ever going to get 1 item location, and that could be a dungeon item. But at least with Misery Mire, you are guaranteed to get at least 1 item, and I think the same is true for Ice Palace as well, so...
Right, yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, I guess Ice Palace can have a really, really bad layout where potentially, maybe you only get no items, but...
The God Mire getting the big key out of the bridge.
Oh boy.
And lunchtime ended up finding the map in the chest I would expect it to be, so I think they're stuck here now.
Yeah, we're stuck. We gotta mirror out.
Alright, so is it... I don't think they can check anything else. No, so is it going to be Mire or Swamp?
I'll say Swamp, just because. Did they check everything nice?
I think everything they could check. They didn't have the big key, so they couldn't check the big chest.
Okay.
And now both of them are doing the Mire play.
Okay.
Finding the cape.
Well, we know that's not the hammer. We did see Bubber Cave. So, 1 more item here.
This is definitely very intense. 1 item here, 1 item in Swamp. Which one's it gonna be?
Yeah, man, it's it's a little worrying. And when we find the hammer, our worries aren't necessarily over. We might need the Cane of Samaria for GT, and that Cane of Samaria can be in a place where you really don't want to check before you go to GT, namely the Pyramid Ferry.
Yeah, it could be Pyramid Ferry. It could be further down in Swamp.
Yeah, it absolutely could be.
I would fully expect if you were to have hammer, you just gamble GT left side, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Don't bother looking for Samaria.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I don't think there's really a scenario where you just don't want to gamble that either Samaria is not in GT or that big key is not on the right side. Because if it's not required, you waste so much time.
Alright, a few little locations here left for Phant. Just the big chest now. Is it gonna hold what we need?
About a 50-50 chance at this point, I would say. No. Beatrice is the other item, so I guess we're going to swamp now. Well, Phant hasn't been to Ice Palace, though.
Phant hasn't been to Ice Palace. Did Phant do the blacksmith route, or was that just lunchtime? Or am I mixing things up?
I think Phant did. Oh boy.
Now we're in an episode of Trading Places. Off to Ice for Phant, and they'll soon get locked out of here, and Lunchtime's gonna have to decide quickly where they decide to go next.
I think Lunchtime's just gonna go for that yellow swamp.
I mean, there's pretty much nowhere else to go, so Swamp is looking like the play to make now.
Yeah, unless Lunchtime somehow missed a chest they could have gotten in Ice Palace, but I don't know, you said that they checked everything they could, so
I'm fairly
I
certain
don't think
they
that's the
checked.
case. And I mean, from Phant's perspective, this makes total sense. There's more items in Ice Palace than there are in Swamp, guaranteed, so...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're searching for a hammer, what do you expect?
This...
And we get to see that super long cutscene again on Lunchtime's side.
I think it's a good time to take another bite of your sandwich.
Alright, Lunchtime. Where are you gonna run off to next? Where's your next location?
I wonder if they checked Bumper Cave. I assume they did. If they didn't, they'll probably check that now. But if not, I think Swamp. Did they really not check Bumper Cave?
That might be the case.
Well, prepare to be disappointed, Mr. Lunchtime.
Every location that Lunchtime now checks is giving Phant a little bit of time to catch up here.
Yeah, that's one of the small risks of skipping these locations, like a Lumberjack and Bumper Cave, when you have the opportunity to check them. It is a little bit slower to come back and check them when you need to. If you can skip them, that's great, but it's just little things. It's, you know... But we are getting that swamp dip now. Are we?
It's hard to get in the mind of a runner in this point in the game. Like, where do you go?
I wonder if they checked that? I can't remember if Lunchtime or Phant did that. I think it was Phant.
Oh, there's the big key.
Oh, so Phant didn't actually come down here, did they?
No, they must have skipped it and not realized it. I assumed they did, so that's on me. But now having access to the big chest.
Yeah, and I think Ice Palace is actually one of those dungeons where it will assume you Death Warp or Mirror for logic. Don't quote me on that, but I believe I've heard that. So... We're gonna learn very shortly.
Right, and that's the map. That's the last of what they can check other than the big chest. The big chest is currently in play, fully accessible.
We're going for it.
And here we go with Swamp Palace. Is it going to be in the first chest, or are we going to be out of here in a jiffy?
It's pretty much what it comes down to now. It's just it's either going to be this first chest Swamp or this big chest in Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Okay. The book. Oh no. Okay, so tablets are in play.
Oh my god. Why? Wow.
At least Bombos is right here, so...
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, it's right here, but...
It's here, up the mountain, or it's on that big chest. Where are we going? Silver arrows. That definitely is a nice find. Not exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that could be something that is good, I guess, but... Oh my gosh.
Definitely very interesting. Speeds up Ganon fight significantly. Very nice item to have. But at the same time, I think they want a whack-a-mole hammer.
Yeah. If the Ether Tablet is hammer, then Phant will also get the Silver Arrows, kind of negates the advantage of them, but if it's it's actually an Ice Palace, and Phant's going to be feeling Silverless Ganon, they're not going to really care, I think.
Yeah, if Hammer ends up being here, I'd say Phant has a significant lead over those silvers, just due to having it not have to do these extra locations.
Yeah, let's find out. We're going to learn right now. Oh my god.
There it is.
Oh my god.
And Phant finds a key in the big chest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that had to be a key, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to access the basement without...
Oh, so that might be actually... That might actually be why lunchtime left, because they knew that.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable.
Huh, I'm gonna write that down. So I'm gonna ask.
Alright. So, one dungeon left here on Lunchtime's side. Should be very fast. It's already cleared out. You just have to go... two dungeons, sorry. My bad. But both of them are pretty much done. You just have to go fight the bosses.
Yeah, and we're in go mode with the parentheses and question mark, because where's the can of Samaria?
Yeah.
Do you need that? I don't know.
At this point in time, I think you're gonna hope you don't have to need it.
You hope and pray and hope that's enough. Or at least that's in GT. If it's required, okay, but at least put it in GT. Come on.
Yeah, put it on one of those two chests on the right to make you more obligated to go right. Alright, Phant, where are you gonna head off to next? I think your only location is coming down to that swamp play here.
We can't actually get in here, right here, because we don't have the hammer.
Very true.
I love video games sometimes.
I would probably do the exact same thing and flute there. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this. Oh, wait a minute.
It's very easy to do, just because usually you're used to having the hammer.
Alright,
Nice.
and I have to do the big long route around.
Yeah, we have boots, so it's a little bit better, I guess. Oh, we haven't done the blacksmith thing.
Oh,
Interesting.
so that's a little bit more time Phant's gonna have to put in here.
Remember at 40 minutes when we were so hopeful this was gonna be like a go mode really fast, and then things happened.
Man, it took 40 minutes to find an item.
Oh my god. I mean, I guess we found flippers along the way and hookshot, but we could have done this without those. Well, not hookshot, but flippers at least.
Hey, look, another 20 rupees.
Oh boy.
And another crystal in Lunchtime's name. 1 dungeon left to go.
Yeah, gotta run back into Ice Palace now. Yeah, I'm not sure if Lunchtime at this point would feel ahead or behind. They did dip into Ice Palace and Mystery Mine when they didn't have to. But the hammer was also in like a really obscure chain. So it's really hard to say what they feel right now.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not you want to gamble the swamp without having hammer, so you'd only be checking the one location. Of course, your opponent could have done that so long ago when they found the flippers that you never know, like, if they did or not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that doesn't seem like the craziest thing in the world, since at that point I think hammer was our go mode, since we knew what the hookshot was. I mean, I could definitely see a world where somebody just says, okay, I got the flippers, I'm just going to go over here to swamp, so it's going to take me a while to get back here, and if it's in the first chest, I'm going to win the game. So...
And ice should be very fast for us this time around, not having to check anything along the way, and being able to just go straight for cold stare.
yeah, just a bomb jump, hip scopping away.
Phant now making that run around for Swamp Palace. I fully expect them to check Bombos first, just because they're here already. Otherwise, they'd have to do another long route over here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to skip on this in the snare, because that could just be the hammer, and then there you go. So, Phant will get those silver arrows, I'm pretty sure, as well. Yeah, we absolutely could, as Chet points out, still need some Mario, which is quite worrying. Even though we've basically full cleared the game up to this point, there are a location or two that it could be in the overworld.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect it to be fully inside of Swamp here.
Yeah.
As possible locations. I mean, there's a few others, but it locks 5 of our locations inside Ganon's tower. So you never know.
Yeah, got Swamp and Pyramid Fairy on the overworld still.
Yeah, Spike Cave is also there.
Yeah, that's the proper reaction, man.
Very, very fast. Cold Stare kill.
Yeah, Butter Sword's pretty good. And that's our last crystal dungeon, so we got that game thing. Would you like to explain?
Of course, we don't have the commands on this channel, but we can play off the honor system. The big key guessing game. You can put in your guesses between 1 and 22 on where you think the big key is going to be. But we can only access 17 of the locations. Currently, anyways.
Is it 17 or 18? I don't think the tile. Oh no, wait, tile room is locked by that. Yeah, so you were correct, of course. Yeah. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna go number 20. I'm a gambler.
Oh, a gambler. Now it depends on where Samaria is then.
Yes, exactly.
Now, are you gambling 20 with Samaria being inside, or is that going to be like a Swamp Palace Samaria?
I'll go double or nothing and go say Samaria's not going to be in GT. Samaria's going to be outside of GT.
That's a very cruel guess. But I like it. It's respectable. Phant very angry about that hammer location.
What's your guess?
I'm gonna go with 13.
Lucky number 13. All right.
All right. Anything higher than 17, chat, will be Samaria required. I mean, well, no. I was just like, oh, it could be in the big chest, but you need the big key. Like the smart anyways. It's like, no. I mean, it could be there, but you don't need it at that point in time.
I mean, I guess there's a world where Kingdom Samaria's like in the first two chests on the right side, and it's actually right side, and it's less than 20. But
that's very
some wishful thinking.
Alright, chest 1, a small key. Chest 2, another red rupee. Heart piece on the torch.
Slowly but surely.
Chest 4, the red mail. Chest 5, a small key. Another small key. And a heart piece.
Alright, well we found a promotion. That's nice.
Still doesn't blend in though.
Does not. Also does not get you into Lord Aghanim's private tower, so. Whoops.
Alright, 8 locations out of the way. Only a few more left to go. Hookshotting in the wrong direction, but that well.
Yeah, well, we don't have the Kingdom Samarias. We don't actually have a lot of options for the switch here. You can bomb it, I guess.
Yeah, very true. Alright, Phant now gonna go off and fight Cold Stare here. Chest 9 is another red rupee. If it happens to be right side and they don't have Samaria, I'm gonna laugh.
I'm gonna do more than laugh. I'm gonna laugh hard.
Chest 10, bombs. Chest 11, heart container. 50 rupees.
Oh no!
300 rupees. We're up to 13, folks.
We have 4 more locations left in GT.
This is getting very intense, and if you're lunchtime in a situation, you're hoping it's in one of these next 4 spots.
Yes, sure.
Alright, Bob's chest, number 14. What do you have? 300 rupees. 3 more to go.
No.
So, in their last match, Lunchtime ended up doing a full search of Ganon's tower for the hookshot. So this almost feels like a repeat in Lunchtime's mind, I'd say.
Probably. Though if the Kane Samaria isn't here, I don't think anybody could blame him for not getting it before now.
15 the compass, 16 a heart piece, 17
Oh
a red rupee!
This game's so rude.
No! Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
We hope that the Kane Samaria is down here in Spike Cave.
I can't believe this is actually happening. That it's on right side.
This is just... This is a nightmare.
Absolutely. 100%. Oh my. So, Spike Cave,
It's not here.
Pyramid Fairy, Swamp. Is it in Swamp?
It could be in Swamp, it could be at Fat Fairy, it could be at the Hammer Pegs. Oh my god.
This just horrible, I'd say. Like, to get your potential go mode and just get locked out of the tower, just no.
Yeah. Where are you going lunchtime? Hammer Pegs at first, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, TR is not a potential play, so that's good.
Yeah, we've cleared out Misery Mire of everything we can get without the Can Samaria. So,
Yeah, overall, there's a few locations left to go, one of them having a high density of items, but there's all these one-offs that have potential. When you're only looking for one item, you never know.
yeah.
Bottle of red goo.
It's even red, so it's just taunting lunchtime at this point.
Right, exactly.
I mean, lunchtime does not feel good, I'm sure, but unbeknownst to them, they actually have quite a bit of time to find this and still win.
Right. I mean, the thing that would make a difference is if Phant somehow decided, I'm gonna go and dive Swamp right now. Again. After finding Hammer and... Or not, after finding the book and dipping out. Like, it would be... I would fully expect them to go to Ganon's Tower and do the same play.
Yeah, that would if they went to Swamp to find that would be like some Yu-Gi-Oh! Level stuff. Just can't fathom.
Alright. Phant now in search of Kane. Of course, does not know that yet. And will Pyramid Fairy hold our mythical Kane?
Alright, I guess. We didn't get all the items out of Ice Palace either, did we?
Out of ice? I think we got everything out of ice now.
All the items?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
And there's Kane.
Okay.
Overall, not a bad search.
I hate to say that I called this a long time ago, but I did mention it was possible. I'm sorry.
It's very true.
Sorry, not sorry.
The commentator curse. It's at least not me this time.
Not the cursed either. It's the cursed melee this time. Yeah, Phant's gonna be heading to GT. This is the play you make if you're a sane person.
Right. So, at 40 minutes, we were talking about go mode. We got go mode, technically, at an hour 20, and then realized, oh, we can't do this, so now we actually get go mode in hour 34.
Yeah, I mean, that was at least one of the the friendly spots the Kansas Mario could have been for the Kansas Mario. Could have been in Swamp, and that would have been bad. But Pure Repair is okay.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, so we're at 17 on our count.
Alright.
Cannon's Tower. So, with 5 more chests left.
I'm on course to be right again.
Yeah, it's true. You guessed 20, wasn't it?
20, yes.
I almost want to say, everyone in chat, get your guesses in between 18 and 22.
Tower would just be the icing on the cake at this point, I think.
I mean, if you're in Lunchtime's position, do you just gamble Tyler Room now?
Heck no. Heck no. I want to have some faith in the goodness of the world after the seed, and I'm just not prepared to do that.
Yeah, it looks like they're not even gonna gamble, they're just saying, no, I'm gonna go to the 4 chests. Alright, will it be here or in the tile room?
Oh god.
Chest 18, small key. Chest 19, bomb upgrade. Chest 20, arrow upgrade. Chest 21, the big key.
Oh, I was so close. Lunchtime, you should check those in different order, man. How am I gonna pay my bills this month? But that was a nice number to go out on blackjack right there. So
21.
yeah, it's blackjack.
Alright, up the tower we go. It's so unfortunate having to do a double dip Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unavoidable. Even Tile Room, when it's in Tile Room, it feels pretty unavoidable, unless you feel like behind and you gamble that, but there's just almost no scenario ever where you'll look for the Kana Samaria outside of GT if you can go to GT, so...
Yeah, 100% agreeable there. Lunchtime using some iframes there to get through, although didn't even get tapped by a ball on the way through there. So could have almost done it without.
Yeah. I mean, if you fall down when you're walking across, then it's just faster to take the initial fall intentionally and dash across, but... yeah. Lunchtime probably just wants to be as consistent as possible going through here, since they probably feel behind.
And making quick work of the gauntlet now. Of course, when you get to this point, you don't see a dot done. Like, I'm sure you're in full panic mode.
Oh yeah, that heartbeat only goes higher with every room you clear.
Now, the unfortunate side of using silvers on the land molus is that it's very slow to shoot the arrow, but it does one-hit it. Fire Rod's much quicker, but 2 shots, and uses quite a lot of magic.
Yeah, if you can get the one Sable Silveros, it feels really good. You save yourself some magic, which you'll probably need for the torch room. But if you miss one, you can actually shoot another one until it actually hits something. So it's very difficult, much more difficult than some of these runners make it look.
Yeah, and now Phant is locked out of GT. Where are they going to go next? Off to Spike Cave.
Yeah, this is like your dream right here. Just having to leave, go down Spike Cave and grab this. I mean, it's not a dream, it's like the least bad thing.
Right, yeah, if it was just next door, it'd be fairly easy.
Alright, I guess I gotta climb the mountain again, oh well.
time getting that heart piece out of Spike Cave. Gonna save and quit. Where next? I fully expect Swamp, but at the same time, you never know. Like, when you have, I guess you have the option of just do Pyramid Fairy first, so I think that's a lot quicker of a check than Swamp would ever be.
Yeah, when you have the Aga portal, Pyramid Fairy is pretty quick to check, so... But he's going to do the Hammer Pegs first.
So, the same route that Lunchtime took as well, so... Equal time sync there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Samaria ends up being in a location locked by the hammer. So, you would never find it before.
Yeah, you would have to go to Pyramid Fairy to check that before heading to GT, which in some scenarios that's not super duper unrealistic. Like if you have Master Sword, no silvers, I could absolutely see some runner saying, okay, I'm going to check Pyramid Fairy before I head up there. I've got the Aga portal, it's really quick. But when you have silvers, gold sword, pretty much everything but the Cane of Samaria, you just go there and hope for the best.
And just like that, Aghanim goes down. Now we just have to fry a pig and we'll be good to go.
Going to be a pretty easy pig fry, I would say. We got the butter, we got the silvers. It's going to be cooking.
Of course, it's still morning where I'm at, so some nice bacon for breakfast would be very nice.
Well, you know, it's not bad time for breakfast, in my opinion.
Alright, into the Ganon fight. Grumble, 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 grumble. Seriously, you're supposed to bring food?
Wow, that's actually oddly appropriate for the conversation we were having.
But Ganon, you are the food. Already on to phase 3. Couple more hits and we'll be sinking some silver arrows into the pig.
I can't believe after all the stuff we had to do, this is still like 1:43, which is not like a super bad time. It's weird.
Right, yeah. Like overall, it's a very nice time to finish a seed with, and being ran around like that is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, just
lunchtime.
too low down.
I think Lunchtime definitely has some nerves here.
I would 100% agree. I myself have tied twice in the Swiss stage of this, so the race after my second tie, I literally couldn't hold my hand still.
Oh yeah, I've been there for sure.
Very hard to do. And with
I
that,
haven't
lunchtime finishing off the pig.
Yeah. Let's see here. Official SRTV time, 1 hour, 43 minutes, 48 seconds. Really well done. And Phant notices immediately and does appear to be tapping out. Understandable. Very understandable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now they're 1-1 in this series, so there's another race that they have to do.
Yeah, so it looks like Phant and potentially Lunchtime will be joining us for an interview here in a moment, so give us just a sec, guys. Alright, and we are joined by our two runners. GG, fellas.
Yeah, GG.
So, let me get some thoughts from both you guys. We'll start with Lunchtime. What are your thoughts on the seed?
I mean, I pretty much freaked it, so I found the book, so Not a good seed in my opinion.
Now, overall, the seed ran you guys around quite a bit, having to full clear nearly everything.
Yeah, how about you, Phant? I can guess, but go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't gotten randoed that hard in a long time. That was pretty rough. Just nothing I did, none of the gambles I did paid off at all. Yeah, that was rough.
I mean, overall, both of you did pretty much the exact same gambles. I think the only time difference really ended up being putting off the Moon Pearl there for you.
Yeah, that was just, I forgot I had the shovel. So
Yeah, that's understandable.
So
like, I mean,
I
it's
wasted a
not
lot of
clear.
time. Yeah, I wasted a lot of time wandering around rechecking things. I was like, where could it be? And after that point, I was like, man, I think I spent several minutes just hunting around for the Moon Pearl. So after that, I was like, okay, I need to start like just gambling and hoping something turns up my way. And well, nothing did. So that's that.
Yeah, the hammer was in a very wonky spot, I'll say.
Yeah, probably the worst hammer location I've ever seen. Like, just not in swamp, but blocked by swamp, and just it's so terrible.
Yeah.
Right. Not only that, but Ganon's tower being cane locked and the cane being locked behind the hammer.
Yeah, I am curious. So, after I finished pod, had a lunchtime found the Cane of Samaria yet?
No.
No.
Okay, yeah, because so I got like this coin from another tournament that I did that I like to flip when I do stupid gambles. And I was like, okay, if it comes up heads, I'll go straight to GT, and if it comes up tails, I'll go Pyramid Fairy first. Came up heads, went straight to GT, and
Yeah.
well, I'm curious how it would have turned out if it flipped the other way.
Yeah, so they went to GT as well, right away, which I think was very understandable. We got silver arrows, we got swords, we got pretty much everything. You just hope it's not required, or if it is required, it's in GT. I could see a world where somebody goes to Pyramid Fairy first as well, but neither of you ended up doing that for understandable reasons, of course.
Yeah, I was strongly considering it because, like, man, lunchtime hasn't finished yet. I spent a whole bunch of time in Ice Palace for nothing, Mire for nothing, just walking around all over these places for nothing. It's like, okay, so I'm pretty sure GT was cane locked at that point. I was like, okay, well, there's also the chance that he also was doing the same thing I was doing and trying to bet a game. It's like, okay, I'm going to go hunt for Kane. So, well, yeah, if Kane was in a different spot, I think it would have been a very, very different race.
Right, yeah. Pyramid Fairy was the overall location of that, but when you're poised with a couple locations, it really just depends on what you want to gamble.
Yeah, definitely.
But overall, now you guys are tied in the series, and are you excited or nervous at all for the next race?
I'm always nervous when it comes to a tournament race, so yeah, nerves are a really big issue for me. Like, to the point where, like, in the hours leading up to a race, I just, like, feel sick to my stomach because, like, just the nerves are going so hard. Like, a lot of times when I'm in Ganon's tower, like, my hands are shaking so much. Like, one time I actually dropped a controller because my hands were shaking so hard while I was going through the gauntlet. Not this race or last race, but one of the previous ones. So it's always tough to deal with. I don't think I'm going to get over it anytime soon, just the way I think.
I've never heard something that just resonates so deeply with me, because I'm exactly the same way, so very understandable.
Right, and this one, I would say this race came down to pretty much similar as your guys' last race. Ended up being like a hook shot problem on Lunchtime side, doing that full clear of Ganon's tower looking for it. And now this time it ends up being the Cane of Samaria at the very end. Of course, when it's about 40 minutes into this race, we're looking at your items and go, you need a hammer and you're good to go. Hour and 20 minutes, find the hammer, and don't even find Samaria for long after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Are either of you familiar with the Walk on Water glitch at all? Like from the Dark World going to like Hylia?
Yes. Are you talking about like the North Dark World route where you do the water walk glitch to get over and like go clear pod from the north? Like if you have the boots and all that. 'Cause I think you could have possibly skipped Aghanim with that. Well, actually, no, we couldn't. No, because both myths were in pod. So yeah, no.
Yeah, you couldn't have skipped Aghanim, but potentially, if you could have skipped the flippers, because the hookshot was on Lake Hylia. It didn't actually matter that much because the flippers are in a really accessible spot. But there was a point early on where all that we really needed for go mode was the hammer if you knew that glitch. So I was just curious if either of you knew it or were just knew it and didn't want to play with it or what.
I'm kind of aware of it, but I don't know how to pull it off, so that would be something to look up.
All right. Do you all have any final thoughts on the seed at all?
I don't want to seed like this for race 3. Because the hunt for the hookshot as the go mode item, an awful go mode item in race number 1, and a hunt for the hammer, which is, I mean, it's not as bad as the hookshot in my opinion, but still kind of awful because there's a lot of dungeons you can enter without the hammer, and it like really limits your Dark World access because you can't use the portal by the dam. And because of that, you end up just running around like crazy trying to find something. And then the true go mode item, Cane of Samaria, just really, really awful. Like I just give me a pedestal seed so I get all the items before I go into Ganon's tower, and I'll be happy.
Oh man.
Definitely. All right. And then with that, I'd like to say everyone hit up these 2 runners where they follow. They put on a fantastic show for everyone with this, I'd say, a pretty horrific seed to throw at them. They have another race they have to do. They're now tied 1-1 in this series, so that'll be coming up in the future. Our links are also in chat. If you want to support us, you can hit us up where they follow. Axis of Anarchy for our amazing tracker today, and Stinger being on the restream. So thank you both for that. And thank you, Mally, for joining me here today.
Oh, sure. That was a very entertaining seed, I'll say. So, yeah, definitely glad to be here.
And if you like Rando, want to see more Rando, you can hit up Speed Gaming 1 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Lots of Rando to go on in the bracket stage here, and it'll get even more exciting as time goes on. As for Rando right now, a race between Gloin and Mr. Zwanzig has started on ALTTP Randomizer 3, and there should be one starting up very shortly here between M. Kozler and Gerdo on ALTTP Randomizer 4. And I just want to say thank you one more time to both runners and everyone who is participating.
Yep, thank you both. Have a good day.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.